So last week, Thursday, I was talking about the also one of the knowledge is the knowledge of reviewing, where one able to the Sotapanna at least able to review the 5 things, which is the path, the friction, nibbana, and then another 2 is the defilements that's already eradicated, and the defilements which is not eradicated, which is still there. So the Sotapanna eradicated the 2 defilements of wrong view and skeptical doubt. If go by the fetters, then it will be 3 fetters. The wrong view of self and soul, the wrong view of attachment to the rites and ritual, believing that they will bring you enlightenment, and another one is the skeptical doubt. The 3 fetters. We go back to the sharing again now. Okay, can y'all see? Okay. Now in the lower fetters, here we have the 10 fetters. Wrong view belief. This is the first 3 is eradicated by the Sotapanna. Now, then let's say you want to go to a higher development after Sotapanna, and then you wish to further progress to the Sakadagami, second path. What should you do then? So, when you want to get into the second path, then this one, then again, you have to give up. Not this. Let me go back again. This one, the attainment of fruition. The attainment of fruition also you have to give up. That means that after you able to absorb into the fruition, you can able to stay as long as you want. The whole experience the peace, experience the nibbana, experience the pala, experience its pala consciousness, everything. Right? All this attainment of fruition, you can able to do it as long as you want. But then now you want to go into a higher path. So when you want to go to a higher path, you have to make an adhitthana. You have to make a wish that you want to totally give up of entering into this attainment of fruition. You have to give up attainment of fruition. Then the mind will go back to note this one, the knowledge of arising and passing away. It will go on again, and it will go on to the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you cannot able to achieve the second path, then again and again it will repeat at the knowledge of equanimity. Again and again. You see, although in our past few talks we talk about now the impact on the anicca, dukkha, anatta, as you from a puthujjana into the first stage, and you have to go through so much of it. But that's not all of it. We thought that all the anicca, dukkha, anatta we have seen. Not yet. We have not seen everything yet. To me, when I look at Sotapanna and to compare it with our education system, I always look at it as if you pass through Sotapanna, let's say you attain Sotapanna, You only just pass through all the primary schools only. You haven't even entered into a secondary yet. Primary school in Malaysia, we have from 7 years old until 12 years old. Yeah? 6 years in the primary school. Then after that, you have secondary school. Then after that, you have higher education. So passing through Sotapanna is just go through your primary school level only. You haven't really understand what is calculus, differentiation, biology, deeper aspect of chemistry, all those things you haven't learned yet. So you have to realize this, that because of our samsara, don't expect that we just meditate a few years. Then once you get into Sotapanna, then we think that everything wholesale. You know, I mean, it's still wholesale. You know? It's still good. Not to say it's bad, but it's still not enough. The perception, the wrong perception, is still very much deep inside us. That's why, because of that wrong perception, there still arises the sensual desire. There still arises the anger and so on, the wrong form of thinking. Although you may not go into wrong view, but still the desire is there. So therefore, you still have a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. But nevertheless, this time, because of the enlightenment process, previous enlightenment process as a Sotapanna, then the whole development is so much more better. Therefore, the defilements, the hindrances are much more manageable. It doesn't mean that you just have to let them loose. No, you still have to manage them, but it's more manageable. Therefore, the progress, the development, it's much more, in a way, smoother. Because of the concentration, mindfulness are much more continuous. So you have to go back to this knowledge of arising and passing away. And you have to carry on with the knowledge of this one, and you have to go through all the anicca, dukkha, anatta again and again and again and again until the mind matures, and then it goes again with the entering into this insight leading into emergence. Then you will go through the vibrating bhavanga, arresting bhavanga, then mind door, then preparation, access, conformity, change of lineage here. Now here, change of lineage, you are changed from a Sotapanna to a Sakadagami for the second path. Then after that, the path consciousness arises. Here, when the path consciousness arises, it eradicates the, no, it doesn't eradicate. It attenuates sensual desire and ill will. Then after that, the next, this one, you have fruition, two fruition consciousness. Okay, you have two fruition consciousness. Then you go into bhavanga again. So you still cannot able to attain the phala samapatti of a sakadagami of the second path. So therefore, you still have to meditate for a while. Then after that, you enter into phala samapatti. You enter into phala samapatti again. Now this phala samapatti, the way I read it, I mean many suttas and also how the monks attain and so on. This phala samapatti, I think, is an optional thing. Optional. For most yogis, I mean for most yogis, if you're able to enter, you have to able to, I mean, you able to enter this one. But in the past that when the enlightenment from Puthujjana all the way to arahantship, within like few seconds, then they just have to pass through all these phala samapatti. But they pass through all the path and fruition of Sotapanna, path and fruition of Sakadagami, path and fruition of Anagami, then path and fruition of Arahant. Then they attain Arahant, and then they are an Arahant. Just within a few seconds, they can pass through. That during the Buddha's time. not for now. Now you have to struggle. So therefore, here the factors are attenuated: sensual desire and ill will. Now, when you hear the word attenuated, what does it mean, attenuated? Here, usually in the text, they will tell you that your sensual desire and your ill will is not so strong anymore. That obsessive sensual desire is not strong anymore. Your ill will, your anger, your aversion is not strong anymore. Other words, it comes up for a while, then it kind of like so-called disappear. This is what we understand. But when it comes to the knowledge of reviewing, when the knowledge of reviewing, then again, when you review the defilements are still there and what the defilements are not there, then within this sensual desire and ill will, then there will be, again, you will see the arising and passing away. Because it is still there, then it is still arising and passing away. But because it's attenuated, then after a few times, it arises and passes away a number of times. But after that, it goes into stop. Not really cessation, but it stops. It stops in the sense that it goes into bhavanga. It stops. Then after that, it arises again, a few arising and passing away of the sensual desire. Then it stops again. Whereas for a Sotapanna, when he reviewed this sensual desire, when the review of the sensual desire, there's no stop. There's only arising and passing away, arising and passing away, and it just keep on continuous. That's why the sensual desire is still strong. Whereas for a Sakadagami, a second path, when they review this sensual desire or ill will, then they review it as a few arising and passing away. Then it stops into bhavanga. Then it arises a few times, it stops. Therefore, the sensual desire is weakened in the sense that there is a stop there. There's a stop there. So that is how they see. They know that they still have sensual desire because it's still arising and passing away. And they still also know that because it stopped, then therefore they know that they are at the level of a Sakadagami. Okay? All right. So again, you have to enter into, after you review all these things, then again you go through the process of Phala Samapatti. That means you enter into the attainment of fruition of a Phala Samapatti. And here now as a second level of enlightenment, the Sakadagami, then you enter into that fruition again. Earlier on, a few talks ago, I said that this Nibbana all are the same. Whether you are, there's no such thing as the difference between the Nibbana of Sotapanna and Nibbana of Arahant and Nibbana of Sakadagami. Nibbana is just one in a sense. So they will experience Nibbana through a different level, but they experience the same Nibbana. I mean, Nibbana, I cannot say the same Nibbana, I cannot say it's different Nibbana. It's a bit difficult to use words to use it for this time. Anyway, so they enter into Phala Samapatti again. Now, therefore, after that, of course, when they want to review the defilements, that they don't review it once, they can review it many times. Anytime they want it to, they can review it. Okay. Then so again, when we want to go to Anagami, the third stage of enlightenment, again, you go through the same process. You make the adhitthana and you don't want to go into the Phala Samapatti again. Therefore, you give up on that entering into the fruition and into that absorption. Then you give it up on that. Then again, you go back into the anicca, dukkha, anatta. Again and again, you have to see it. Now, some people said that from the second stage to third stage, it may be a bit long. Yeah. That's only for some people, but not for all people. Not for all. For some, yes. Why is it that it is long? It is because of this sensual desire and ill will. Yeah. Sensual and desire and ill will are very strong in all of us. Yeah. So in order for us to cut off this sensual desire and ill will, it takes a tremendous amount of changing of our perception. That means the anicca, dukkha, anatta has to be done a lot. Then only the wrong perception is to be corrected into right perception. Whatever that is beautiful, you see it as asubha, as not beautiful. Yeah. So ill will, we can able to give up and cannot able to rise anymore. And this one, it's difficult. Because once you able to cut off this sensual desire and ill will as a anagami, then the next rebirth will be a Brahma rebirth already. The next rebirth will be a Brahma rebirth. Okay? Now afterwards, we'll talk about the rebirth a little bit more. Then this again, when you review this sensual desire as an anagami, then the sensual desire will go into cessation. The ill will go into cessation. But anagami, when he reviews his restless mind, the restless mind is still arising and passing away. The review, the conceit is still arising and passing away. Okay? Right. And the rest are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, again, when anagami wants to go all the way to arahantship, again, the process the same thing. He gave up on the palasamapatti, make the aditana not to go in anymore, and then continue with this one. And then again, when the mind is matured, it enters into the insight leading to emergence of an arahant. Therefore, at the end of the fruition, is a full-fledged arahant. Full-fledged arahant at that time, whether he wants to later on, whether he wants to enter into palasamapatti or not is up to him. Done what has to be done. There's no rebirth to come back anymore. Done what has to be done already. That the process, it's very different from each and every yogi, each and every bhikkhu, or each and every this one. Some they can attain first, second, third very fast, but when it comes to the fourth arahantship, cannot. Some may struggle for the first level to sotapanna, very difficult. But when they attain the fourth one, when they attain this one, very fast. So first and second, sometimes people can able to attain quite fast. But then when they go from second to third, can be very long. Third to fourth sometimes also can be very long, or may not able at all. So it all depends. There's no fixed rule over here. There's no fixed rule. Although all the level is there, all the levels are there, but each and every one of us are very different. Okay. Now, I want to go back to this sotapanna again. Now we're going to talk about its rebirth, because now the sotapanna and sakadagami and anagami, they still have rebirth, and it's good for us to, since we are at this topic, it's good for us to at least to know a little bit of what I mean by this type of rebirth. Then it will be good that to know a little bit. Usually during the retreat, I don't speak of all these things too much. Since we are not in retreat, it's just more or less a Dhamma talk. Then we can discuss upon that. So, all right, let's see what are the types of sotapanna first. Let me stop this one and I go in again with the next sharing. Okay. Hey, come back to the same one. Hold on. Hold on, stop sharing. Hold on. Oops, no. Okay, can y'all see right now? The three types of stream enterer? Okay. Now here are the three types of stream enterer. There are three types of sotapanna. The three types of sotapanna. This one, this one I taken from the from Bhikkhu Bodhi, on the Abhidhamma. There are three types of stream enterer. There are three types of sotapanna. Number one will be reborn 7 times at most in the human and the celestial world. Number 2, one who takes birth in good families 2 or 3 times before attaining arahantship. And number 3, one who reborn only once before attaining the goal. Now here are the 3 types of stream enterer. Most of the time we thought that this stream enterer, we have only 7 lives, in the human lives and the celestial world. Most of the time we think that it's only that, but it's not necessarily that. Number 2 is that when he takes a good rebirth in the family, that means he takes a fortunate rebirth. It takes a fortunate rebirth, more or less everything is there for him in the good families. And then when he was reborn, he practiced, he carried on his practice and then attaining the arahantship. So one who will be reborn once before attaining the goal, the third one, ekabiji. So here reborn once, that means in the next life, that means that he able to meet with the Dhamma, or next life, even when he reborn in the celestial world, he can able to meditate, and then with that, he able to attain the final path. That means he able to attain arahantship. So it all depends. So number 1, if let's say if you meditate until a sotapanna, and after that you don't want to meditate, let's say you are negligent, you don't want to meditate anymore, then 7 times, still you will, the samsara will stop. The samsara will stop for at least 7 more times in the human or celestial world. 7 more times means like if you reborn in the human world as 1, and then after that, let's say you born in the heavenly world, then as 2, then after that you born another in the heavenly world, and then 3, and then you fall back to human world again, then 4, then you go up to human world, then 5, and then like that, something like that. So take rebirth in good families 2 or 3 more times. That means perhaps he may able to see the nibbana, may able to meet with the sasana and still can able to meditate in the human world. Rebirth in the good families, I'm not sure whether this is also applied to Deva world or not, because sometimes in the Deva world, although we have a spontaneous rebirth, but sometimes Devas, when they spontaneously reborn next to existing Deva, then you have the son of Deva, the son of Deva, and then they say that by Deva Putta, son of Deva. So perhaps also that Deva also are well-to-do, happy, and so on, before they meditate and attain arahantship. So the third one, therefore, you already, after that, the next life is the last rebirth. Okay? So this is the 3 types of stream enterer. Okay, not so difficult to understand, right? The second one, when it comes into Sakadagami, then it's a little bit controversial, a little bit more than this one. Okay, let me go into this one again. View. All right. Can see? There are 5 types of once returner. So what do you mean by once returning? Returning from where once? Yeah. Now here, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is mentioned in the commentary. Yeah? It's mentioned. This one is mentioned in the commentary and not in the actual text. Yeah? They're more in the commentary. Since it's stated, then I put it down. But there are also a second explanation for once returner. A second explanation. With the second explanation, we keep it for a while. Let's look into the first explanation first on all these 5. So it says that the 5 returner. It says that one who attains the fruit of once returning in the human world takes rebirth in the human world and attains the final nibbana here. Okay, good. One attains the fruit of once returning in the human world, takes rebirth in the heavenly world, and attains final nibbana there. Final nibbana means arahantship, and then he passed away, parinibbana, final nibbana. So one attains the fruit in the heavenly world. The fruit here means again the path and fruit, the fruition. As a sakadagami, takes rebirth in the heavenly world and attains the final nibbana there. That means the third one doesn't come back to doesn't arise in the human world. And the fourth one attains the heavenly world, takes rebirth in the human world, attains the final nibbana here. And that means here when he comes back, he can still able to see the sasana. Okay. The 5. One attains the fruit in the human world, takes rebirth in the heavenly world and passes the full lifespan there, and takes rebirth again in the human world where one attains final nibbana. Here once returning, again here means that it returns to another rebirth, then attains the final nibbana. Whereas number 5, you still have got the 2 rebirth. The first to the 4 is take only 1 rebirth, and then after that attains the final nibbana. Whereas number 5, it attains the human world and then rebirth in the heavenly world, then pass the full lifespan there, then take rebirth again in the human world. That means take 2 lives. So this is one way of explanation of what is meant by the rebirth of a once returner. Now the second explanation of this once returner, I didn't put it down here, but it's just go through by explanation. Here the second explanation, it says that that one is derived from the suttas. It says that when you attain your sakadagami here in this life, in this human life, then the next life, if you are still reborn as a human being or in the celestial world, in the deva worlds, that one is still not considered once returning yet. It has to go up to a Brahma world. It has to go up to a Brahma world. And then from the lifespan of the Brahma world, you finish the lifespan in the Brahma world. And then you return back to the sensual world. And then only called once returning from the world of Brahma, and it comes back to the Brahma world, and then with that you develop, meditate, and then you attain your final nibbana. Okay, now if you cannot understand, let me go back to the screen sharing again. I'll put it in another way. So what I'm saying here, and also this also is mentioned by the some of the commentaries, and also from the derived from it, it says that you die here, you have to go to you have to reborn in the Brahma world first. Then you come back, then only you considered once return once in this one. We go through the 31 planes of existence, the next one. We go through the 31 plane of existence. Okay. If you can see. Let me zoom it a little bit more. Okay. Now let's go the bottom one first. Let's go the bottom one first. Okay. Okay. The bottom one here, we have Niraya, Tirachana. He is the animal world, hell world, and Petas and Asuras. These four is the four woeful states. That is in the commentary. In the sutta, is only mentioned 3 woeful states because the Niraya and the Asura are all combined into one. Asuras here means the person, the being that tortured others in hell. The one in hell is the one who received all the torturing part of it. So it says that these 2 combine into one. But in the commentary, they divide into 2. That's why you have 31 planes of existence. If not, you have 30. So this one, hopefully we don't go here. We go here very, very long time. The Buddha says for us to be able to come out from it. Then we have this pink one. You see this here we have all this pink. This one here is what we call the sensuous realm. Kama Sukati Bhumi, the sensuous realm. Sensuous realm is all the happy realms, beginning from the human realm. Then you have the 4 heavenly, this one. Then you have Tawatimsa, you have Yama, you have Stuchita, you have this one, and Paranimita Vasawati. You have the 6 sensuous realm. Okay. Now after the 6 sensuous realm, then you have the Brahma Loka. Here this is called the realm of forms. Fine material world, fine material realms. That means here, beginning from number 12 here, this is the 12. That means for you to able to reborn here, you must have at least your first jhana. You must have your first jhana. And you have to master the first jhana until you die. Not just, but you have to master the jhana. And you can see that now there's a first jhana minor degree. Can you see? Can you see a little bit more? Okay. First jhana minor degree, first jhana medium degree, first jhana higher degree. Okay. Now here it all depends on the level of jhana that you can able. Once while you're meditating in the samatha, then it depends on how strong your perception of the nimitta and so on, and then it will give rise to different rebirth. So this is the first jhana, then you have second jhana, you have third jhana, then you have fourth jhana. You see here, there's again, here for 21, there's only for fourth jhana. And this fourth jhana, there's only one in the sense that if you attain fourth jhana, there's no first level, second level, third level. There's only one. Mindless jhana, mindless beings here. Here, this number 22, the Aryas cannot reborn here. Aryas cannot reborn at this number 22. You cannot find Aryas here, Asanya. That means mindless. Here, the mind is totally suspended. How they want to do it in the fourth jhana, that one, it's a long thing that we can talk another time. It's just that the mind is suspended for 500 Mahakapa. Very, very long time. Now, for Anagami, here, pure abodes here is not pure land, Don't go and mix up with pure land and so on. Pure abodes here is Sudavasa here. Here have 5 levels. There are 5 levels here. And this belongs to the Anagami only. Belongs to Anagami. They die from there, they reborn here. These 5 realms reserved for Anagami. Okay. Then after that, you have the 4 Arupa, the formless realms. The formless realms here you practice the 5th jhana, 6th jhana, 7th jhana, 8th jhana. This one is very, very, very long time. Very long time. Over here, they cannot able to hear the Dhamma. Whereas in the Rupa Loka, you can still hear the Dhamma if the Buddha arises. Here, 28, 29, 30, 31, you cannot really. Anyway, go back to this Sakadagami, okay? We go back to the Sakadagami. You see, the one in the purple, this one is all the Brahma realm, okay? The pink one is the sensuous realm. Now, in the Sakadagami, it was there are certain commentary mentioned that the second explanation of once returning, it means that if you die as anywhere within this pink realm, this planes of sensuous plane, then at least you must have to go up to a Brahma realm once, then you return back from totally another realm to come back to any of the sensuous realm. From there, that means you once returning. It says that it's once returning. Then only it's because it's coming back from a different realm. Whereas the first explanation one, the earlier explanation, the first explanation, we go up again. Now the first explanation, it says that you don't have to go up to a Brahma realm. You all you need to do is to whether this world or next world doesn't say about anything about Brahma realm. Heavenly world here means the Deva world and higher than us. So this is what it means. First explanation, second explanation. We really do not know. All you need to do is that you meditate until there. Then you see what realm you want to go. Then you come back and tell us. So it doesn't matter which rebirth, because finally they will come to a stop. Finally will come to a stop. Okay, finally. Then some people they are very think that they are smart. They think that they are quite smart. Now what they think? They think if like that I practice until Sotapanna Makawalo. At least it's 7 lives only. 7 lives, I don't have to go through a Brahma realm, because Brahma realm is so long. 7 lives, if you calculate, it's just only not even a fraction compared to a Brahma world. So they thought in that way. It's all wrong thinking. They haven't attained a Sotapanna. They already start negotiating their rebirth already. So don't think about all those things. Anyway, this is the second explanation of this one. Okay. Now the rebirth of Anagami. Anagami is more straightforward. Okay, let's go into the third for non-returner. Okay. Now, the non-returner here, okay, there are 5 types of non-returner. One who, having been reborn spontaneously in a higher world, generates the path before he has reached the midpoint of the lifespan. One who generates the final path after passing the midpoint of a lifespan, even when at the verge of death. One who attains the final path without exertion. One who attains the final path with exertion. One who passes from one higher realm to another until he reaches the Akanita realm, the highest pure abode, and there attains the final path. All right. Okay. Now, let's go back the number one. One who having reborn spontaneously and higher will generates a final path before he reached the midpoint of the lifespan. Here, what it means, okay. Here, that means a person reborn as this one. Attain third stage of enlightenment. Then after that, he died. He didn't get the arahantship. Then he will reborn in any one of these 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Any one of this realm. Any one of this realm. He will reborn here. Then as the text says that he will reach before the mid-span of his such a long life here. Before the mid-span, then he attains the final nibbana. Okay? And then the second type of this one. The second one is that he generates the final path after passing the midpoint of a lifespan, even on the verge of death. Okay? Now here, he can any part of here until he may live the whole life. He may live the whole life as a Brahma, and after that he passes away from there. Very, very long time. Very, very long time there. Okay? And then the third one. The third one is that one who attains the final path without exertion. That means this one, not necessarily this one is rebirth. This one, that means while he's meditating, he already attained the final path already. He attained the third path already. He attains the third path, but then he doesn't have to meditate much. Then he are able to attain the final path even within this life. So one who attains the final path without exertion. One who attains the final path with exertion means that in this life, he meditates, he has to struggle, and then only he attains the arahantship. Okay? Then this is what it means here. Okay. Number 5. Oh, number 5 one is very long. Number 5 one, he passes from one realm to another realm until he reaches the highest pure abode. Okay, let's go back again until it attains the final path. Let's go back again. Now, here is that this Deva, when it comes to the first, after that he reborn again in the second, and he born in the third, and he born in the fourth. This is a very, very long time. Very, very long time. You see, it's we as a human being. We conceptualize the nature of time. We conceptualize the nature of time, and you want to compare it with a Deva world, or you want to compare it to a Brahma world. It's impossible, Although we put here Mahakappa, how many kappas, how many eons, and so on. But to them, those beings are staying there. The concept of time is not important to them. The concept of time, not like human world. Human world, we have short lifespan. Animals, we have short lifespan. But for these beings, it's very totally different way of concept about this nature of time, totally different. So we cannot think of it like, might as well we get the rebirth as Sotapanna, 7 lifetimes, compared to that Anagami who has to move from one Brahma world to another Brahma world to another Brahma world until he reaches the Akanita, peerless Devas, the highest form. That is, you cannot think it in that way because you are thinking in the aspect of time. Whereas in the Brahma world, the time is totally different. Totally different. Okay? So this is the nature of the rebirth of this one. of course, when you come to Arahant, that is the final rebirth already. There's no more rebirth. Now, let us come back a little bit and we divert out a little bit. We divert out a little bit. We come to this Tawatimsa. The reason I want to talk about this, Tawatimsa, is because that a few days ago, these Hokkien people, they have all this prayer to the devas, this Tingkong, the king of the deva. Now, in the Buddha, in the Buddha Sasana, in the text, the king of the devas resides in the Tawatimsa heaven. All right. Now we have in the teachings of the Buddha, we have this Sakadeva Raja. They are there, and he is supposed to be a Sotapanna. He's supposed to be a Sotapanna. And we have a number of suttas in the and the question and answer, and also Dhamma talks by the Buddha given to the this Saka. But the thing I want to mention is that the Chinese Saka, the Chinese Tingkong, the Chinese king of devas, is actually very different from what is being taught in the Sasana, in the teachings of the Buddha. They are two different things. Whereas sometimes a lot of times, I've noticed that Buddhists incorporate the teachings of the Buddha, the Saka from the teachings of the Buddha, and incorporate into our Chinese tradition. And especially on the 9th, we pray to it because it is birthday. We pray to it because of its birthday. And thanks and so on, for luck and everything else. Not only just birthday only. You see, and some time ago, remember, it was like 18, 19 years ago, I was giving a talk about the difference between this Deva and the Chinese king of Devas. Whereas the Chinese king of Devas, the Chinese way, this Deva, the king of Deva, is supposed to be a permanent Deva. That means they don't die. It's supposed to be eternal. It's supposed to be eternal, this Deva. Whereas in the Buddhism, this Deva is not eternal. And it's not eternal. And this king of Devas, you can have different individual able to sit on the seat of the Sakadeva Raja. So there are two different beings. There are two different things altogether. And then another thing is that we kind of celebrate the birthday of this Deva, and sometimes the Buddhists also incorporate that Devas into the Sakadeva Raja into the Chinese tradition, and they're thinking that this is the Sakadeva Raja, even though we pray for it. And then when it comes to this, the 9th of Chinese New Year, the 9th day of the Chinese New Year, we pray to him, and we celebrate his birthday. Now, come to think of it, let's say, if you celebrate his birthday every year, then imagine, now you see, Tawatimsa, you have one celestial day. You see my pointer here? One celestial day, you got 100 years, 100 human years. 100 human years. That means, if you are celebrating the Sakadeva Raja, his birthday, that means within his one day, already 100 times of his birthday that these Chinese people keep celebrating. In the sense that I was calculating it, if let's say one celestial day of this Deva Raja, Sakadeva Raja in Tawatimsa, let's say he got 24 hours or so. Let's say just like ours. And then if we're going to celebrate every year for his birthday. That means almost every 15 minutes, these Chinese people keep on celebrating to me. You calculate and see. You calculate and see. If they have 24 hours, if this Deva Raja have 24 hours, times 60 minutes, then you have got 1,440. And you divide into 100. Within like 14.4 minutes, this human being is already celebrating my Deva, because human life is so short. Within the Sekadeva Raja's one day, we Chinese already he already feel the celebration 100 times already. Anyway, this is for you to think about. Anyway, I just want to mention that the Chinese Sakadeva Raja and the Chinese Tingkong and the Chinese king of the gods and Buddhism Sakadeva Raja, they are two different. This one, although they have a same name, king of the gods, but they are two different concept or two different understanding. This is just distraction. Okay, let us come back. And then you don't go and ask me after that in coming to the Q&A time. Bante, next year we still can celebrate or not? Don't ask me that. This is just for knowledge sake. Now, again here, now let's come back to this path and fruition again. Let's come back to the talk again. Now, this path and fruition, okay, let us go back to the another one. I want to go out of my, let me exit this first. Can you all see the 10 factors again? Cannot? Okay. Stop. Hold on. Let me. Can you all see right now? Okay, good. Now, you see, there are controversy within this insight leading to emergence, the path and friction. Now, in the Abhidhamma, to explain this path and friction, they give you a consciousness that's coming in this way. But there are people who don't believe in, there are Buddhists who don't believe in this Abhidhamma, he thinks that this Abhidhamma is totally not the words of the Buddha and so on. So they don't believe that this path and friction occurs next to each other. They believe that path is an individual. Path is one. After some time, only you will attain the friction. So there's a time gap here. So there's a path and there's a friction, there's a time gap. One of the reasons they say this is that I need to stop again. I need to share this. Right? Come back here again. Hold on. I need to stop the sharing. Okay, hold on, everybody. Oh, sorry. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me get back to my Zoom. Screen sharing. Okay, this is the one that I want to talk. And normally you chant this. Can you all see the Sutpatipano? Okay. Normally you all chant this thing. And when it comes to this Yadinam Chattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala, that is to say, the 4 pairs of person, the 8 individual person. All right? the 4 pairs of person means Sotapanna as 1 pair, Sakadagami as 1 pair, Anagami as 1 pair, Arahant as 1 pair. 4 pairs of person, 8 individual person, eight individual person here means path. One who attains the path as an individual attains the fruition as an individual. That means, path and fruition. So you already have two. So again, Sakadagami, path and fruition. Anagami, path and fruition. This one, again, path and fruition. All right. Now, in this path and fruition here, some people argue that there must be two different persons between a path person and a fruition person. A path noble one and a fruition noble one. There must be two. It cannot be one, because after all, the Buddha mentioned is that an individual person. But in the Abhidhamma, it's just one consciousness different. Here, the path consciousness arises. The next one is the fruition consciousness already. Then how can that be a difference between consciousness only? Yeah. Then again, there's a little bit of a controversy here. So some people argue in that sense. Anyway, so again, those people says that the path is actually an individual. Fruition is also an individual, although they are just next to each other. This is what the argument is. Because also in another place, this eight individual person also, when it comes to this offering, giving, then again, especially like in the Vibhanga Sutta, Dakina Vibhanga Sutta. Here it mentioned that you can offer to one on the way to path of Sotapanna. Then one is you can offer to one who is a fruition of the Sotapanna, and so on. Anyway, those a number of suttas, they argue that the path can be one person, the fruition can be one person also. Then there are people also argue that if you attain this path and fruition the first time, you are not fully Sotapanna yet, because again, you have not attained the Pala Samapatti. You have not attained the Pala Samapatti. You have attained path and fruition in that sense in the first time, but you haven't attained Pala Samapatti. That is also again, they say that it can be a two different Sotapanna. Well, it's all this argument because again here, sometimes I think because a lot of people have not seen how Nibbana works, how the process of Nibbana works, and then they have a lot of intellectual, conjectural, and then thinking about it, and then a lot of different way of interpretation of this path and fruition. So this path and fruition is not very clear cut for a lot of people. Until you meditate, your mind is sharp enough, you can see through all these things. Then whatever people say this or say that, then that time you don't have all these things. So just want to point out that although what we mentioned here, for a lot of people, they're not able to accept these things, all this path and fruition and Pala Samapatti and so on. But the 10 factors, everybody can accept, because it's mentioned by the Buddha. Whereas the path and fruition thing, and then a lot of people have ambiguity about this, because this is only within the consciousness only. And then there's also another controversy, but this is on the practice, not on the enlightenment. Is it? Since this enlightenment process, all this insight leading to emergence is happening in the mind only. It's not happening in the body. Therefore, what for you all meditate on rising, falling? What for you all meditate on anapanasati and so on? Not necessary. Just meditate on the mind will do, because after all, you're going to get out of samsara through the mind. Some people mentioned in that way. Then if those people without much of Dhamma, they say, it's true lah. If like that means like that. After all, what's the need of the body for? So that is also another way of wrong interpretation about the practice and so on. Because that one we will talk about that when it comes in the Noble Eightfold Path. So here we conclude on this cessation of dukkha, the third noble truth. The third noble truth, I've mentioned quite a lot of things, especially when we look into dukkha, we see what is the meaning of dukkha. We look into what happened before the dukkha, before enlightenment, before nibbana, because that one is important for us to understand how exactly we develop, what are the development you have to go through in order for realization to take place. So when realization is happening, how is the realization is being how the nibbana is being realized. And then after that, after the realization of nibbana, you come out of it as a sotapanna and so on. What are the benefits and what are the defilements are there and what are the rebirth and what are the palasamapatti and so on. So we talk about more or less about this cessation of dukkha. So the next talk we will go is the next one is on the Noble Eightfold Path. When you talk about Noble Eightfold Path, of course, we will not just going to talk about that simple, but it's going to be a bit deep, especially connected to our meditation. All right. So that's it for tonight. We will share merits and then we'll continue this on Wednesday, 9 p.m. same time.